Calgary, you want to do a little something? Are you going to make the playoffs? Sure, the hell doesn't look like it unless you go on a crazy run. Go out.
Calgary might not even make the CFL playoffs. That's bad.
Great point.
It's bad.
Very good point.
Just take it away from him. Under 4 left. The barn is alive again.
Yeah, it's the sports show. Got me in my hormones. All gas, no brakes. Score 4-0. If you think you own this place, you get foreclosed. I've been in my head, but it's not about a T3.
It's just not a good look.
Or maybe it's because I want you to be.
You're always trying to drop me down a peg. You can't handle it. Anyways, I'll tell you what you can handle. You can handle the sports show. Episode 279. Spotify, Podbean. On the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube for all your video content of the sports show. That's at Sports Show Podcast. Of course, if you like the clips, if you like knowing what's going on, at Sports Show Podcast is also the same handle on the Instagram. CJSW, we're the third Tuesday of every single month, so we got a couple weeks. We'll record one of those shows. And then that's it. I mean, it's the set of instructions we give is really not that much, except there's one more.
What?
Of course, some of you know that we do a little wrestling pod with a Mike McGuire who was on the show last week. Thank you again.
A fun show.
Thanks, Daddy. GWO, get your merch. How do you search for the merch? It's easy. McGuireShow.com.
I got
you
the
can
same
get all
shirt.
your stuff.
I got the same shirt. It's beauty. And I'm not joking you. I have been getting compliments left, right, and center. I have not taken it off for a week except for today. There's the first time I took it off since last Saturday.
Really?
I sleep in it. I work out in it. I work in it. It was an odd week, but I did it. And people loved it.
And he makes other people feel nice in it as well.
That's right. I don't want to go too grotesque into it, but yes, that also as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. You know me. I was perusing the nets. And it wasn't hard to find because last week it was one of the biggest fiascos. This is why I wish we could do this podcast like at least 3 times a week or sometimes daily. I mean, hey, somebody out there, just give us a chance. I beg you. We're good for it. I promise you.
We're good people.
We're good people. What am I talking about? Saudi Arabia hosted a little Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou last week. Basically around this time when we do the pod is when these guys were going at it. And Tyson Fury, I don't really think took this fight very serious. Dimitri, you're the boxing expert. If there's a special advisor in this whole group that we have, you're definitely the special advisor for boxing. I watched the highlights. I watched the whole thing. I ended up getting it after. I have to admit, Francis Ngannou might not be a day-to-day boxer, but he did pretty good against the champ, and I think he got robbed, if you want my point, simply because, hey, I know when it comes to technicalities, there's little things that I don't catch, but I do know one thing. When one dude gets knocked down by another dude, that should count for a lot more. Francis Ngannou knocks down the champ, and man, I'm telling you, just like when Devontae did to him, I don't know how he got up. That looked like it stunned him, and then after and the press conferences and the pictures that I had, he looked worse for wear than Ngannou did by far.
Yeah. I don't think that it stunned him at all, actually. I don't think that was anywhere close. I think it was an off-balance, just kind of quick.
Really?
Yeah. But it was still a hard punch. It was a well-timed punch. Okay, I'm going to go into this.
Yes.
I'm going to go into it. I was thinking about it, and I thought about the whole thing. And, you know, the undertones of everything was how Usyk and Tyson Fury are going to fight December 23rd. That was the game plan for the unified championship. So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, wow, you know what? Tyson Fury's camp is genius.
Right.
Very smart. So follow me on this.
All right.
You need a tune-up fight.
Sure.
You're about to fight the biggest fight in boxing.
Right. Agreed.
Okay?
Yeah.
Heavyweight, undisputed, unification match. It rarely happens. Last time, Lennox Lewis. Just to put it in perspective, okay?
Gotcha.
Okay. So, you got that going on.
All right.
Well, why risk going up against one of the top contenders? Why take a Deontay Wilder fight again? Why take a Joseph Parker again? Why take an Anthony Joshua? Why do that?
Right.
When you can go and make the most money next to Usyk
Right.
possible
Yeah.
in a guy from MMA.
Yeah.
And you don't have to try that hard because he's an MMA guy.
I get you.
So you get your tune-up fight, you get your maximum dollars,
Boom, boom.
you get the Saudi treatment. You're not going to be that messed up. And then you ride into December and you're feeling good. You're greased up. You're everything.
You're good.
You beat Usyk, you KO him, and you take the belts.
Right.
That was the plan.
That's the plan.
Well, the plan changed.
It changed all of a sudden.
It changed a little bit. Now, here's the thing. Did he take the fight seriously? Yes, he did.
You think so?
Yes,
I don't think so.
100%.
Okay.
Because this was not Ngannou calling him out. This was not a situation where the MMA guy called him out. This is a situation where the boxer now said, hey, I want you.
Right.
And you better look decent.
Okay.
Ngannou won without winning.
Yes, 100%.
Right?
100%.
Fury, I think he definitely trained. I think he trained a lot because if you look at the turnaround time of when he wants to fight again is less time than a normal training camp.
Sure.
So he has to be in shape. I think he took it hella seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got a little bit surprised. I think he got surprised, and I'll tell you what it was.
Yeah,
I'll tell you flat out why Ngannou's so good.
Sure.
The punching, he gets it, but he listened.
Yeah.
His footwork and his timing. You guys, that knockdown was timing. That was not power. That's why I say it didn't hurt him too much.
Right.
It was zero to do with power. Fury is going down the pipe. 1, 2, right? Pop, 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 pop. If you watch it again, just go in slow-mo or just watch it again. Fury throws a lazy jab.
Yeah.
He goes to the right. As soon as the right make contacts here, Ngannou does a slight pivot and hooks over top at the same time.
Yeah.
He masterfully timed him. That's what typically MMA guys don't have in boxing. Okay. Now, in terms of the fight, no. Fury won convincingly.
Listen, here's the thing. Yes, to a boxing advocate like yourself and other guys, and
like it wasn't close.
Alex Torres, I'm sure, would agree with you.
It wasn't
like
close.
A boxing, champion that we had on the bottom. George Kambosos might agree with you. To the average fan, to the guys on the other side of the railing, if you will, if let's say we had an alternate commentating table, I'm just saying, personally, I'm not saying. I'll say this. Yeah, he probably did win, Dimitri. You're not wrong. Because there wasn't that big of a talk about it.
But he didn't win the eye test.
That's it.
That's
and to me, that's what
it's
all about. And you say he took it serious. I'll also disagree with you slightly because, I mean, look, I know the guy never comes into camp or goes into a fight with rippling abs and is ripped up. That's not his thing, and that's why we all love him. Let's call it what it is. But he just didn't seem like he wanted, like he didn't take a guy that is extremely powerful in any sort of way, respectfully. And I'm looking at this, and I really felt like it was another script from Rocky 1. It was like the remake of Rocky. I swear, that's what it felt like. That's what it looked like to me. You know what I mean? So Apollo was Tyson, and Sly was Ngannou. That's the way I felt. That's the way it looked like to me.
Yeah.
I would love to see them go. I'll tell you right now, Tyson Fury's got bigger fish to fry. Maybe not bigger, legitimately, but he's got a bigger challenge ahead of him, and he's got to take that serious. But I think he got a little bit of a wake-up call. This fight might have just woken up going, I can't take anybody serious. They're all gunning for me.
You're right. No. But here's the difference too, right? And if you look at how Tyson Fury is fighting, he took the fight seriously, like as in he really trained for it, okay? To get in shape, to get in fight shape, to go in the ring. What he didn't take seriously is you could see how he was fighting. He's like, I don't have to do as many tricks as I normally do against, like he's not fighting Usyk like that. He's not standing in the middle of
You like to think he won't. I hope he doesn't.
No, he won't.
Yeah.
No, he won't. He won't. And if you watch, he was just kind of surprised, like, oh my goodness. He's like, Ngannou's actually moving around the ring.
Yeah.
He's actually trying to counter me. He's actually trying to time me. And you could tell, like, the whole Mike Tyson in his camp, that was the real winner right there.
Yes.
Because you could see that Mike Tyson prepared this guy to underthink everything and just say, hey, just take it down. Just focus on these things and go.
You got to say, Mike Tyson's life, what a life.
What a life.
What a life. A guy that was bred to be a champion, gets himself in trouble, loses a lot of money to the Don King fiasco, comes out of jail, has to recreate himself, now is a millionaire times 100. Like he's even bigger now. Like, personally, I think he's a bigger star than he's ever been. And he's training guys. Like, talk about just the circle of
Yeah,
life.
man.
What a crazy,
Yeah.
crazy
What a
thing.
great guy.
It seems like it,
But
right?
and that's why it goes back to the whole thing. Like when I think about that idiot on the plane,
yeah.
you're like, man, how much of a d-bag are you that you get a guy like that now to get that mad?
Yeah,
So,
that's not-
but no, it was. Look, overall, I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. I think for Ngannou, I want to touch on this point. Like, never mind just the fight. What I love is here's a guy
Yeah.
who opted out of a UFC contract
Right.
because he's like, no, you're shortchanging me.
Yeah, yeah.
And goes, and even in a loss,
Right.
increased his stock more than he would have ever done
Hey,
in the UFC.
it's that thing, man. You got to put your money on yourself.
Yeah,
End of the
he bet on
convo.
himself, and now he won. And now,
Yeah.
if the UFC wants Francis Ngannou to come back, they better Brock Lesnar pay him.
Oh, 100%.
That good for him. It worked
Absolutely.
out.
It worked out. It's all working out. I'll tell you who it's not working out for, and I'll tell you who needs to press Control-Alt-Delete. It's the Calgary Flames. It's off to the NHL. We
Our
go.
homeboys.
Listen, last week we left you on what was going to happen. The Heritage Classic took place. We were talking about, playing outside, all that fun stuff. And Connor McDavid did make his return. He came back. He had a couple of points. I think he had 1 point, actually. But his presence alone is more than anything, really, at the end of the day. At one time, the score was 3-2. Ends up, Flames just lose outright in Commonwealth Stadium to their arch rival, the Oilers. Now, since then, the Oilers they seem to they're starting again. They're catching stride. But since then, the Flames have once again just stumbled, and they lost again the other night to a pretty strong Dallas team. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just because they're homers, but we got to talk about it. The Calgary Flames right now are falling apart. And I guess if we were going to make fun of the Oilers last week and go, you guys got to pull the button, you guys, it's emergency time, which I still think they're in a little bit of trouble for other reasons. The Calgary Flames 100% are in trouble. And here's the biggest problem. Last week, they also mic'd up Evander Kane, Dimitri. I don't know if you saw the highlights of that. And there was an incident where, he's talking to some of the Flames guys. They're all chatting. And he literally looks at one of them, I can't remember who it was, and says, hey, what are you going to do? What are any of you going to do? On this exact podcast, we said the loss of Lucic. So you guys don't have all the talent you need. You lost your head coach. You lost your GM. And you lost a guy that other teams were scared to even come across. The Calgary Flames literally might be. I know some people would argue that San Jose is worse. I don't know. I don't know who's the worst team. Do we pull the button? Is it time? How many more games before we go Control-Alt-Delete on this Calgary Flames franchise?
Yeah. Oh, this is great. You know what I loved about that whole what are you gonna do about it? Like his taunting.
Yeah.
I was like, good. The rivalry is really back.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's good to know that there's some old school element to sports where it's like, yeah, teams and people hate each other.
Absolutely.
Like, yes, thank you. Now, I'm gonna say this.
Sure.
Are we missing Daryl Sutter?
No, I don't think it's Daryl Sutter we're missing. I
You
really
know,
don't.
like I'm just thinking, all the moves happened last year.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Players,
Yeah.
GM, coach, everything. A lot of the big thing was that Sutter guy. He's a Malaka. I don't want to play with him. This, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But
But,
because I got to say this, they are the worst team in the West.
yeah,
Even though San Jose has a worse record.
sure.
But you know the difference is?
Yeah,
Everyone knows. Every San Jose fan has accepted the fact
right.
that this is where the state of the franchise is.
Exactly.
Zero expectation.
Bravo.
The Calgary fan still clings on to hope.
Yes.
The Calgary fan still thinks that we got decent players.
The Calgary fan still thinks we won the Stanley Cup in 2004.
The Calgary fan needs to come to terms that pull the plug, regroup, just as long as we fire on decent cylinders when the new arena gets built,
Right.
everything is okay. Until then, old arena, crappy team. Look, the Flames suck. They absolutely and utterly suck.
Yeah.
And if you guys think for 1 second, that there's a turnaround here, I hate to break it to
Yeah.
you, but it's just not going to happen. Do you realize, you know who I was listening to? They brought up a good point is,
South Carolina, George.
no, not South Carolina, George, our boy, the Pinder there.
Oh, yeah, Pinder.
Okay, and Warner. Warner said, I was listening to them, and
Yeah.
he goes, if you continue on this trend up until game 15, here he goes.
Yeah.
He goes, now you're asking the team for the rest of the season to play 750.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's not going to happen. I'm like, yeah, just by sheer math alone.
Yeah. Listen, here's the thing. I 100%, I hate being the pessimistic guy. You know, guys, how I am. Like, if you've listened to this
I don't think you hate being it. You are that guy.
I am that guy.
But you just hate people thinking that you're only that guy.
True. But I hate the fact that I'm always right. That's the problem, too. That's the problem. Look, it's the black swan theory. It's like when things will eventually get bad. And the problem with the Calgary management is that they don't seem to understand that bad happens all the way around. So you guys got rid of the head coach, which I do think was a problem last year. Brad Treliving was not a problem. I'm sorry. I don't see why he had to go. And I feel like this is the team he's built. So when you get rid of the manager and the coach, you're really leaving this team in like limbo. This new Huska coach, I'm sure he's a great guy. Just, he's been thrown into a fire that's unfair.
Yeah, it's a little unfair to him.
Conroy's been thrown into a fire that's completely unfair. Special advisor at Ginla doesn't know which way. He doesn't know where to get coffee. He never had to get his own coffee before. Now he's got to get his own coffee.
He's got to learn how to work the machine.
Here's the problem, is that we have some good players. You know, like you look at a Hannafin, he just doesn't want to be here. Lindholm hasn't signed. There's no commitment to that. Then the guys that we have signed are not living up to their expectations. They're not playing to their capabilities. Kadri's been playing a little bit better, respect. But when your goalie Markstrom, the poor guy's making 30-plus saves a night, and he's easily the best player on the Flames, but he's getting, like, destroyed. The problem is, if I'm management and I'm like, okay, we're going to Control-Alt-Delete this, can I trust the Calgary fan to come? Because years ago, we had the Young Guns. When we were doing this years ago, no one showed up. Does Calgary want to be the new Winnipeg? Hell no. No one wants to be that. That's the problem here, is that we as fans, I blame us.
Buddy.
We're giving everybody standing ovations except our own guys.
I'll say this on the record. This is what I cannot stand about Calgary fans. Is that the fact that all you hear out there, why aren't you giving Coronado a chance? Why aren't you giving Paul Shea a chance? You talk about all these young guys.
That's right.
But then again, if you replaced it, and to Mitch's point, and put all these young guys and did the whole Young Guns thing again and did the reset, every single one of you would be complaining, complaining. So, you know what? Sometimes this is where the management position is a harsh one.
Yes.
It's very unforgiving. So you know what, Flames on? Figure out what the hell you want.
There we go.
Like, do you actually want a team or do you not want a team? Because I'm sick of going on social media and everyone celebrating all these rookies that should have been there, but yet nobody. But if they did that, they would hate the team and say, "Oh, this is the dumbest team ever. They shouldn't have let this." Like, come on, come on.
I agree. And listen, at the end of the day, there's got to be a reason that these players don't want to stay here outside. Like, the arena's coming, so put that to the side for a second. What's happened here? People that played in the NHL, retired, never played in Calgary, all moved here. Granted, oil and gas was at a boom at that time, and it is a great place to live. But why is it today, 2023? Why don't these guys want to be here? There's got to be, I hate to say it, guys, it's us. Something's happened. We're bad neighbors. I don't know what it is. Are you not mowing your Calgary Flames lawn when they're gone? Are you not shoveling their snow? Do a favor to the guy. Do a favor. He's got work to do. You want to cheer for him? Shovel his lawn. Shovel his walk. Do something.
Look, I got to tell you, Mitch, you bring up a good point. Let's just talk about Canadian teams.
Yeah.
For a second here.
Again, you know what? I knew when I left, you were going to look at the thing.
No.
I knew you were going to look at the thing.
Okay, well, wow. Cat's out of the bag. We're the same person. There's only one guy.
There's only one.
One guy on this pod. Let's talk about Canadian teams on that topic.
Yeah.
I look around everywhere else and I say, the Winnipeg Jets.
Right.
That team's been intact.
Yes.
For a long time.
Absolutely.
Right? If you look at core. Montreal. Same kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Toronto.
Yep.
They're making it.
Very much so.
They're making it work over there.
Yep.
Vancouver. People love staying there.
Check my notes. Best Canadian team in the NHL right now.
Okay. People love staying there.
Yes.
Right?
Of course.
Yeah, but in Calgary and Edmonton, I got to say, we think they should blow it up.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, there's people that like being there.
Love it.
And I get it's a McDavid Draisaitl factor.
That's all it's about.
But man, like, nobody wants to be here.
Nobody. It's got to be management. It has to be. It has to be us in management. I'm sorry.
The city's nice.
The city's great. The weather, yeah, I mean,
Buddy,
what
it is the
what it
fans.
is.
We cheer people. Like we're the parent that doesn't like our own kids.
Yes.
And always looks at everyone else's kids and
Yes.
says, do you see what Mitch is doing over there? Mitch goes to church. Mitch does all this stuff. Okay, I'm sick and tired of hearing about Mitch, Mom. I'm sick and tired about hearing about Mitch, Dad. That's what happens here with the fans. So they're like, hey, what about me? I just netted 100 points for you guys.
Right.
Me too, me too, me too. Yeah, but you know what? That person, like that, come on.
Buddy, beautifully said. The only thing I'm going to say is, Calgary, you want to do a little something? Are you going to make the playoffs? Sure the hell doesn't look like it unless
No.
you go on a crazy run. Go out.
Calgary might not even make the CFL playoffs. That's bad.
Great point.
It's bad.
Very good point. I would say, this is all I'm going to say. Go back to what worked in Calgary in the 2000s. What am I talking about? Go and get a fighter. Do you remember McCarthy? Do you remember these guys? Like, since we don't have a guy, and it's pretty evident we don't, just go get Reeves. Go find somebody. Go trade for them. I know it sounds crazy, but right now, you got to get confidence back in that locker room, because the fans are not giving it to the guys. So go get somebody that's going to pound somebody's face, get them going, let them loose, and let's see what happens.
Sandy McCarthy.
That's it. I'm just throwing it out. Or Oliwa. Christian Oliwa. Somebody like that.
Rocky Thompson.
Rocky Thompson. Go get these guys back. I don't care. Get somebody that's going to scare. Here's one, another little note in the NHL.
Oliwa.
I got a question for you. Joe Thornton announced his retirement. Okay?
Worst announcement all time, by the way.
You know what? I like this hat. I like his hat. It was a nice hat. However, I got to ask you straight up. I'm dead serious. Is he a Hall of Famer?
I'll be honest with you. He's going to have to wait a long time.
I think so too. See, here's the thing. Social media and all, like,
Great player.
And see, we're doing that thing again.
But we're doing it now. We're doing the
we're
butt.
defending. We're
Good
doing the butt.
personality.
Great hat.
Great career.
Great beard.
Just not someone I bring home to mom.
So when he got drafted first overall by Boston, a lot of people kind of put him in that, dare I say, like an Eric Lindros kind of thing, like revolutionary. He's going to be kind of a different. And he wasn't. He had flashes of it and loved him. Then he ends up going to San Jose for many a years, and then kind of moved around since then. I gotta be honest. I didn't get a chance to pull up his stats, but I'll bet you he's probably not top 20 in scoring, and he's probably not in games played. He's probably up there, I'd imagine. But like, did I ever say to myself, "Oh, Joe Thornton's on. I gotta go watch that game"? When he was on San Jose, I'll admit, I'm like, "Oh, him, Marlowe, blah blah blah." It was like a team thing, but I never said to myself, "Oh, I have to go out of my way to see Joe Thornton." And the Hall of Fame this day and age, Dimitri, I don't know, man. I think he'll get in. I'm telling you guys right now, he'll get in.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's getting in for the right reasons.
And I agree with you. Like I'm kind of, I'm kind of looking, and like if they would have won the cup that year against Pittsburgh, then I would say, okay, different story. That you had a good career, a lot of points. You won a Stanley Cup. But you didn't.
Right.
I think he's just gonna have to wait a long time, Mitch. Like that's all there is to it. Like I agree. Like you look and say, like, yeah, was he really that special?
No.
When you look and say, oh, like, yeah, come to think of it,
great hockey player, but not somebody that again got me out of my seat. He never got me out of my seat.
No, like let's look at a guy like top of my head, like Jerome McGinley, who never won a Stanley Cup.
Agreed.
Let's call it same kind of career, right? Like pretty much played. Well, Thornton did the Boston thing, but. Pretty much played for one team his entire career. Great on the points. Made it to a cup final. Didn't quite do it. But the difference is Jerome McGinley was a guy where you're like, Iggy's in town,
yeah,
you guys.
Man, absolutely.
Iggy's in town or game on the line. He'll get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Iggy we trust.
That's a really good comparison, those two. I think that's a really good comparison.
Thornton, you're just like, okay, you got a bunch of assists.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just asking. I'm just asking the question. Talk amongst yourselves or write in and let us know.
At Sports Show Podcast. Slide into our DMs.
One real big thing I just wanted to say, our hearts go out in respect again to the NHL community and the hockey community. And Adam Johnson this week passed on. That
stung.
really, really stung the hearts. I mean, I get a little shivers when I talk about it. Gentleman took a skate to the throat. Big talk about now the mandate in the NHL will be to go to like neck guards and all that. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's like anything else in this crazy world that we're in right now. History is repeating itself, right? Things are happening around the world that we're not going to get into, but this is going to happen again, you guys. This is going to happen again. I don't think it's a big deal for NHL guys to wear a neck guard. I don't think it's even a big deal if they wear a full mask. The NFL wears full masks, guys. So if you guys have to wear a full mask to protect yourself, I don't think it's a big deal. And stop being all this, well, that's not the way we play. You know what? How about you keep your face intact so your wife can kiss you and that your kids like you and you don't die? Like, I really don't think hockey is that one sport, man. You got skates, you got pucks, you got sticks, you got boards, you guys got fighting each other. Like, be careful out there,
I didn't read the article, but what did Gretzky say about it?
Gretzky is 100,000% behind it, and he's been pushing it like crazy.
Yeah, because I thought so. I assumed that's what it was, right? But I never read. Look, the thing is like with today's technology too, like you could wear, like I think of Thomas Plekanec back in the day. He kind of had like a little bit of the turtleneck. Number one, it's very fashionable.
It's very nice.
Looks nice. But I'm sure with the technology, like you don't have to wear like this super thick strap like we did when we were kids.
Sure.
You know, but the other thing that they got to think about is it only takes one time.
Yeah.
That's all freak accidents are for. It's like life insurance, man. Like you're not paying for it for every day of your life. You're paying for it for that one time because it's all you need is that one time.
Agreed.
The other side of it too is as sports continues, so does liability risk and insurance continues. And so all of these things. And so imagine if this happened in the NHL,
right,
on the spotlight. I mean, there's a lot of damages now.
I couldn't agree more.
Like, unfortunately, this is so bad to say, but it's true.
Right.
Luckily, this happened in a B league.
You know what? But again,
the liability standpoint.
Sure. Yeah, no, buddy, it's just I don't see why it's such a big deal. I really don't. Like, okay, I never played in the NHL. I don't care. I don't need to play in the NHL to know I like my neck. And I want to keep it. I like my face to some degree.
Yeah, but you're infringing on my rights, man.
Yeah, but listen, if they don't want to, they don't want to. But I don't think it's a big deal to wear a neck guard. And if you want to wear a cage, wear. But a visor, I just don't know why the NHL players, I'm dead serious, and all players don't wear at least a visor. I mean, it's so dangerous, you guys.
Look, the way I see it is this. When you go get life insurance, they ask you.
Yeah.
You smoker?
Right.
You a drinker?
By the way, when they ask you that question,
say no.
Say no. Not like, yeah, I had a puff back in the day and you're trying to be honest. Say no.
No, don't be honest with insurance agents.
Honest.
Don't be honest with them. No.
With anybody.
Listen, where I'm going is they ask you all these questions. Right. And then based on it, they give you a risk assessment.
That's right.
And that's how they do your premium.
Correct.
Well, if some people are going to be raw, look, I don't want to wear it. Yeah. I don't want to wear a visor. I don't want to wear a cage. I don't want to wear a mat. I don't want whatever, right?
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
Then you waive your right for any sort of claim against the NHL for any liabilities and damages done to you.
Yeah.
End of story.
Done. See you later.
So then all of a sudden, when you're working out your contract or you're in the NHLPA, it's like, listen, Mitch, like you're not wearing a neck guard. Yeah. So unfortunately, like if something happens due to that injury, you're out.
Yeah, you're gone.
That's it.
Hey,
solved.
See you later. Yeah, I think this is the one where the management does have to just take the.
It's not a big deal. It just usually people take things that aren't a big deal, make it a big deal, and then make it about another point that's not really about what they're talking about in the first place.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Listen,
from a marketing standpoint, I'll be honest. This is the most selfish thing I'm going to say, but it's amazing. Mm-hmm. From a marketing standpoint, I would actually make my own neck guard.
Yeah.
With branding on it.
There you go.
Being like, the Johnson, what I mean?
Yeah,
like I would capitalize on this like crazy. Like if we made sports show neck guards, we'd be huge now.
Can I just say this? At the end of the day, Dimitri, they get paid millions of dollars to play a sport. In the NFL, you get fined 10 G's. $10,000 Tyreek Hill got fined for not wearing socks. So hey, NHLPA, NHL management, just make these mandatory.
That's it.
And if the guys don't want to do it, guess what? They get fined or, it's whatever. Or they don't get signed. I don't know. It's very simple. It's not that hard, you guys. It's not that
not
big a
hard.
deal. Sports Show Power Ranking brought to you by Dimitri and I. Hey, we're back. It's judged on a curve. Just remember that. At number 5, it's the San Jose Sharks. Why? How? They're 0-10, Mitch. Yeah, commitment. They lost 10-1 to the Vancouver Canucks the other night.
That's
You
right.
don't just lose.
No.
They're losers.
That
and
takes
Flames,
effort.
you're right there. You're right there. At number 4, this team was in town the other day. It's the Stars. Man, they are grimy. They're grimy.
Love it.
I like them,
I
too.
love it.
There's something
I love
about
it.
them I kind of like.
They got a different shine in this Stars team.
At number 3, their names keep coming up, and they got the they got the number 2 leading scorer, the number 4 leading scorer, and the number 1 guy in plus minus. It's the Vancouver Canucks.
Best Canadian team around.
At number 2, it's the team that last year had the most regular season wins. Everyone thought they were going to die. They're 9-0-1. It's the Boston Bruins. Wow. Lucic. Wow. I know he's not playing, but he's still there. Presence. And at number 1, they're still the defending champions. No one can take them out. They are the Tyson Fury of NHL. It's the Vegas Golden Knights.
10-0-1.
What? Wow. Done, and
Good
done.
power rankings.
Thank you very much.
I would have also liked to see maybe the Detroit Red Wings in there.
They were last week.
However,
Right.
I understand this week's power ranking.
Thank you
very
very
good.
much.
Very
Hey,
good.
We like to have a little fun. We're going to quickly run through these things. Hey, congratulations, Texas Rangers. Baseball's done. So
I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Usually I'm in the MLB World Series.
Right.
I'm loving me.
Say.
I saw game 1. I said, all right.
Yeah.
Get ready, everyone.
go.
Roll up your sleeves. We're back, baby.
Yeah.
Boo,
Unfortunately.
Boo.
Yeah.
Like, this is where, you know what? Match fixing, sometimes there's something to be said about it. Astros would have been nice.
Would have been fun.
It would have
great.
been nice.
Because of the storyline.
But the Diamondbacks, like, hey, remember the time you guys got invited to the World Series? Like, did you forget?
Did they know that they were supposed to, play in that?
Like that was brutal.
Horrible. And this is why you shouldn't let wild card teams in, even though they earned to get there.
Yeah.
Nah.
They should-
Sorry, you can't get through the door. Hey, move. The Dodgers are coming. Get over here, Dodgers.
The Dodgers should have been there, okay? The Dodgers should have been there. And Arizona,
Yeah.
I opt that if you lose like that when it counts the most, you should take your team name away. They
Yeah.
should just be known as Arizona.
That's it.
Not Diamondbacks. No, you don't get a second moniker.
You don't get it.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Until you prove
Agreed.
that spot doesn't get given to anyone.
I agree.
Okay? You wasted your opportunity.
I didn't realize though until the last few. I watched
that
the
a
last few
Diamondback
games.
is a snake?
I knew that. The
Oh.
Rangers are stacked. I had no idea how many good players, especially pitchers, they had. I didn't realize they made all those trades. Why? Because there's 162 games. It's too many. Cut it down. Holy moly. All right.
Okay.
Off to the NBA real quick. James Harden.
I'm just going to do
Buddy.
I'm just going to sing in the back. Go do your segment.
okay.
Do you do?
Why and how the hell have you been traded by every single team in the NBA? How is this? And Clippers. I know you're getting a new arena. I know your owner's a billionaire. I know he started Microsoft or whatever it was. But what is happening here? What is happening here? Oklahoma, you're a MAGA. You're great. Houston, super MAGA. Philly, garbage. Now you think you're going to make a big impression over in LA? Come on. You got Kawhi, Paul George. They had Chris Paul there. Now they bring you in. You're not, Westbrook's there. You guys already tried this. It didn't work. What's everyone doing? I don't get it.
Buddy, I don't understand.
Just shave your beard. Going to the strip clubs in Atlanta. You know you love Atlanta. Why'd you get traded to Atlanta?
Just go to Atlanta.
They could use you.
Viable team right there.
I don't get it. And Philly, what are you doing? You had all these guys too, and you got rid of them too. What is happening? You got other teams that got 5 superstars. Philly's down to 1. I don't know. The NBA is losing me, man. I'm so confused.
I got to be honest with you. The NBA is turning into soccer more and
Yes.
more and more and more, right? But James Harden is almost like he's kind of like a Taylor Swift, right?
Yeah.
And a Jennifer Aniston. Like, follow me on this.
Sure.
Hey, you got no problem finding dates.
Yeah.
But why is it never working out?
Why never?
Why is it?
You think it's me?
What's going on over here?
Is it me? It's
crazy.
Me.
It's crazy.
You know who loves this the most?
I'm just trying to think like teams. Houston.
Right.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Philadelphia
Right.
now. Where else do we got him?
And now he's with the Clippers.
Now he's with the Clippers. Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. I got to write that one
Right?
down. Brooklyn. That's the one I forgot. Brooklyn. You had the Kyrie. You had the Durant.
Yeah.
And now all three of you are gone from there.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable. But here's the thing. You know who loves this the most is Kawhi Leonard. Because he's like, wait a minute. Everyone's talking about me sitting down. They're never going to know that I'm sitting the whole time.
They're not going to know.
How can you keep your eyes away from these guys? All right, last thing. Let's jump to the juggernaut.
Kawhi Leonard is honestly like a kid you have to drag to like your sport program every Saturday. Kawhi, it's Greek school. Ma.
Come on.
I'm tired. Let's move on.
We're off to the NFL real quick. It's week 9. Things are progressing. Things are rising to the top, blah, 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 all that stuff. Hey, Las Vegas Raiders. You know, if we talk about the Calgary Flames blowing it up, take a note from the Raiders. In 1 week, they got rid of the GM, the coach, and they told Garoppolo, I don't care how good looking you are. You're going to sit. We're bringing in the 4th round quarterback. We don't even know his name. He's going to play this week. The owner, and this is all setting up for one thing, Dimitri, and one thing only. Tom Brady is back, baby. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
If Tom Brady takes the job away from Garoppolo one more time, it will be the greatest power move I've ever seen in sports.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes.
I wonder if that's what's mentally, like, buddy, what? Like,
you know what?
Got Devontae Adams, the best wide receiver by far in the NFL, when ready to go, when utilized.
Yeah.
He can't be utilized unless he gets the ball. One catch, 11 yards.
Jacobs, can we talk about
yes,
top 3?
Absolutely, please.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the guy, top 5 minimum.
Sure.
But the guy produces. Look, this is where teams like Vegas, honestly, you look at it. Guys,
hey,
we went for it.
Yep.
Experiment failed.
Horribly.
Not the right crew.
Not good.
We got to figure it out. Yeah. But where do you think the biggest problem is? Is it the QB?
You know what? Garoppolo's not great, and he's starting to show that, and I'm starting to understand why teams don't want him. No, this was all Josh McDaniels, man. I got to be honest, Raider fan. Your coach, that guy, you know what, man? There's guys that are leaders, and then there's guys that are soldiers. Yeah. And McDaniels is now proven a few times he is not a full-time coach. He is not he's a coordinator. He's a great coordinator. He gets the offensive side of the ball, but he shouldn't be responsible for an entire team. McDaniels is the problem. And then it also goes to ownership. Like, listen, Davis is just lost, man. He inherited this team. Like, look, we're both Greek. We know how this works.
Yeah.
The son or the daughter gets the restaurant. Did they ever work it? Couple of deliveries, couple of orders, and now you're giving them a restaurant to run. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much.
You know, the fact that this is where you look at the Shanahans of the world and you say, you know what, these are guys that know how to manage people.
Yeah.
And so you look at Garoppolo in San Francisco and you're like, wow, you know what?
Yeah.
Actually, he did pretty good. You look at Garoppolo, you're starting to see it, right? Like
exactly.
Sometimes things don't make sense at the time, but you can see it. We're Belichick, New England. Why are we getting rid of him to bring in?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? Because the guy knows how to manage the team. The other guy knows how to manage the team. Here you are. It's open season. The guy is not a gunslinger, man. The guy's no Brett Favre over here, right?
Not at all.
And so, at the same time, you also have the best wide receiver, right, in the NFL. Okay, if not, fine. You have the second best wide receiver. I don't care what it is. Who should open it up and make things easier, but they're not doing anything right. McDaniels, not. I mean, I got to be honest, didn't we all know that by week 3?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, even last year.
I was just going to say week 3 of last year.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
like,
sure.
Like, did we not know this about him? Like, he's not that good.
Especially in a league where the NFL, I find, loves going after new and changing up coaches all the time. Here's my whole thing, and you guys might think I'm joking, but I'm kind of serious when I say this.
Oh, no.
When you see Davis's hair, okay, you're a billionaire, and that's your haircut, I'm sorry, but if that's your haircut and you're portraying that to the world, that's the problem with this team. You can't trust a guy with a haircut like that to run. I'm serious. Like, it's so silly and it looks so dumb. How could you possibly think he's going to run a franchise with any sort of accuracy when he looks like this? It's like, what's the difference if me and you start going outside and we're wearing mismatched clothing? Like I'm wearing a parka with shorts. People are going to think we're crazy. A haircut like that, and you're the owner of this team, shows me I don't know if you're the right guy to make these big decisions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel.
He probably eats McDonald's with a knife and a fork.
Probably.
Yeah.
Now, if you took it off piece by piece, the Big Mac, it's not that big a deal. I do that.
It's not that big of a deal. It's not.
But to Dimitri's point, if you show up at McDonald's with cutlery, it's a little weird.
Little?
Lot weird.
Yeah.
There it is. We're off to rapid. Ooh, here we go. Speaking of the Raiders fired everyone. Smart move or no? Give me one more roll.
Thank you for raiding the closet.
Ottawa Senators also fired their GM, lost their first-round draft pick. Worst week, Ottawa or Vegas?
Off to a good start now.
Austin Matthews is now the ambassador to Logan Paul and KSI for Prime Water. Vitamin Water or Prime?
Amazing. But vitamin water.
You got to hand it. This guy's got some big names on his ticket, man. He's got some big names. Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes, Luke Hughes. Are they better than Brent Sutter, Daryl Sutter, Dwayne Sutter?
Hughes, your daddy.
You were wondering when I was going to bring them up.
I was wondering.
Mark Zuckerberg tore his ACL training for an MMA event. Metaverse or... No, seriously, this is real life.
No, seriously, this is real life.
Last one. DeMar DeRozan is only 17 points away for taking over Larry Bird's position in the all-time scoring in the NBA. Foul, not foul.
That is a tragedy.
That's weird, isn't it?
Weird.
Like, DeMar DeRozan will probably go to the Hall of Fame, again, the same way Joe Thornton will go. But you're beating out Larry Bird, and no one's really talking about it?
Crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And the new MVP trophy for the finals in the NBA now is the Larry Bird.
You know
That's
what?
how big Larry Bird is, you guys. I'm just saying.
As it should be.
As it should be. We're off to Maga Malaka. So this week, you know how it is. I usually start with something and then I end with it. This week I change it up. It has nothing to do with boxing at all.
Okay.
But it has to do with wrestling a little bit. Why? Because you got two wrestling fans. Yesterday, I'm watching a little SmackDown. And Solo comes into the ring. And I said to myself, Solo. Is that a good name? It's Maga Malaka wrestling names.
Oh,
here we go.
Cool. Okay.
Andre the Giant. Maga or Malaka?
Maga.
Yeah.
That's a statement.
Statement to the point. He is a giant. His
I'm
name is
Andre, and I'm a giant.
The Big Boss Man.
Okay, how creepy is that?
What?
I was watching clips of the Big Boss Man yesterday.
Wow, big surprise.
So weird. And you know what? I'm gonna say Maga.
Yeah.
Because he was a cop and he didn't go with Sergeant Man or Constable Boss. No. He's like,
Which I would have liked.
Which would have been
Constable Boss would have been cool.
But he's like, I'm the Big Boss Man. Yeah, I love that.
How about
they don't have those names anymore?
No, they don't. This is what I'm saying. Let's bring it back. By the way, I'm watching SmackDown. A little side thing, and I'll bring for the signs are back.
I was thinking that yesterday. Buddy.
What'd I say?
Buddy.
Hey, Mike, what'd I say, Mike? What'd I say?
What sign was it? They panned to the crowd, and one guy was holding this like one sign all the way in the back row. I can't remember what it was. I'm like, it's back!
It's back, baby! Here's another one. The one-man gang. Maga or Malaka.
You know what? I respect that because it has nothing to do. Same with Big Boss Man.
Right.
One man. He's a one-man gang.
You know what? For the years, I didn't understand it. When I was younger, I was like, that's a dumb name. Now, as I'm older, I'm like, the one-man gang.
That's how big of a record he was.
That's how big he
But
is.
I'm going to go Malaka with a twist.
Right.
It would have been nice if his name was like the one-man gang, Ed Jablonski.
Now
right?
that.
Like that, right?
Now that, you got something.
You know.
The American Daydream. Cody Rhodes. Oh, sorry. I meant to say Nightmare.
Maga.
Yeah, it's Malaka for me.
Yeah, I know.
The Body, Jesse Ventura.
So that name alone is just a good name. I got to give it Maga.
Maga?
Like imagine your name being Jesse Ventura.
Right. Governor Jesse.
Governor. Jesse Ventura.
Man, I wish we could do that accent.
I
wanna
I
do
can't
so
do
bad.
it.
I can't
Well,
do
why
it.
don't you tell me what my name is? I can't do it. I can't.
It's so good.
I was there.
Hey, Karrion Cross, since you're not
Buddy,
doing anything, come on the sports show. Come on the
Buddy,
sports show.
I can't.
King Kong Bundy.
You know what? I'm going to go Malaka.
I'm going to say Malaka too, and this is the only thing.
You didn't fool me.
What's the Bundy?
Yeah.
King Kong, I like. Bundy? I don't get. So if my last name was Smith, it's King Kong Smith? Nah,
Yeah.
take the Bundy
Like,
out.
what is it? Al Bundy? Ted Bundy?
I don't
But
want it
you
to be
weren't the
Ted
real
Bundy.
King Kong.
Yeah.
I know who King Kong is.
That's right.
In the movies. It was an ape.
It was an
You're not.
You're not. No. Bad News Brown.
Yes.
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 Something about it.
And it was his like cut off glove, like everything.
And his finishing move.
And he was
the
bad.
Ghetto Blaster.
Bad News Brown.
Okay, two more. The Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Easily one of the.
It's
like,
literally.
Maga.
Some people actually on the internet say it's the number one, but I think there's one better. Dimitri, South Carolina George, this one's for you. Ready?
Ready.
The Great Kabuki. Because there is nothing better than a great kabuki.
Or his Greek counterpart, the great Tsibuki.
It's a play on words. The Greeks will get it. Maybe, maybe not. Google it. You'll find out. The Great Kabuki. Maga. Yes. Yes.
Yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. Listen, I'll tell you what else is awesome. The fact that you tune in every week to listen to this traveling roadshow of ridiculousness known as the Sports Show. Listen, Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, at Sports Show Podcast, both on Instagram and YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. CJSW 90.9 FM. I want to give a quick shout out because it's after the funding drive. We hit the goal. Did fantastic. Big win for the university. But listen, episode 279. One for the books. We got to shove it in the locker because we got to hit the shower. Boom. It's shower time.
Gorgeous George.
Gorgeous George. I didn't mind that.
That was all right.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
I mean, he's right to the point. I'm gorgeous. My name's George.
You know the other... just trying to think, like, the names are different, right? Because
Yeah.
now you're in an era where, like, you have to be called your name.
Yeah, right.
Right? Which is cool, right?
It's fine,
Which is
it's fine,
great.
yeah.
But that's why LA Knight's such a Maga.
Oh,
He's a
God.
throwback.
Here
He's a throwback.
There we go. Actually,
He
I
does-
just, you know what's funny? He was 6-7 months ago, less than a year ago, he was Max Dupree.
Max Dupree.
And today he's fighting. Right now
Max.
as we speak, he's fighting for the belt.
Max Dupree.
Have a great week, everybody.
Take care.
Between this and them, now you about to witness. Well, freedom is so now I tell that girl get on my
GSW,
business.
we're Saved by the Bell by the
Josh on
Sports
ground
Show,
like
playing
you're
every
a
week.
sit around,
Podbean,
sit
Spotify,
around,
iTunes, Sports Show TV, at Sports Show Podcast. Amy, do it. At Sports Show Podcast.